Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to talk real quick tonight about the XL Woodsman project with the removable handle scales. I wish I could say it was 100% success on my first try, but I did actually kind of ruin one liner the first time I tried to do it. So it was about a 90% success for my first attempt at the removable scales. But this is the XL Woodsman. I haven't cleaned it up yet. I still has some of the heat treat kind of markings on it and scale on it and things like that, but you can see this is the scales I went with, and you can see the screws here. There's actually screws on both sides, and I'll take one side off to kind of show you how I did it. But basically, well, I guess I'll take the scales off if I can find my little screwdriver here that I want to use. This guy should work. Oh, there's the one I want. Basically what I did is I got two connectors, they're called, and they're 1/4 inch high and they're 1/4 inch in diameter as well. And at first I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, because where they're 1/4 inch and this is only 3/16 steel, as you'll see in a second, they kind of stick out past the tang of the knife. But I'll show you what I was able to do. So you can see there's nothing. The inside of the scale is perfectly flat. I didn't do any holes in the liner either. But with the 1/4 inch connector, you can see that, I don't know if you can make it out in the video, but it actually sticks out just a fraction of an inch on both sides of the tang, because the tang's only 3/16 and the connectors are 1/4. So I was either going to have to grind them down to be 3/16 and then they'd be perfectly flush with the tang, or what I ended up doing was I thought, well, if I just have that little bit sticking out, I could do the holes in the liner the same as the connector at 1/4 inch, and then the holes in the actual scales only have to be as wide as the threads on the screws, because the liner thickness completely covers the little bit of the connector that sticks through the tang. So then we're perfectly flush here again, so my actual scale will sit nice and flush. So you can see basically what happened with this scale was I just didn't have it perfectly lined up so that it would snap into place with the two connectors. But you can see, if you can take the other side off, and then you just have these two connectors. And actually I could technically take this liner off as well. It's a nice flush snug fit. It actually kind of snaps into place. So then with those off, you can see I just have the connectors, and then you can the connectors just look like this here. They're just a little kind of cylinder with threads in the middle, and they're 1/4 inch, like I said, 1/4 inch in diameter, 1/4 inch kind of long. So basically you just have your connectors, your liner lines up with the connectors and kind of snugly fits down in place. Then you can line up your blade, and by having them stick up that little bit, the liner actually kind of locks into place too, whereas if they didn't stick up at all, technically the screw, the gap between the liner and the width of the screw, the liner would be able to wiggle. Now, since they're squeezed down so tight with the screws, it would likely never happen, but by having it actually kind of rest on the top of those connectors, it kind of makes sure that that doesn't happen. And then you just line up your scale, and then as you can see, I guess I'll show you while these are off, I actually kind of flared out in the handle so that the screws will fit nice down in, not just flush, but kind of sunk into the scale as well. And also what I did was, the diameter of the outside of the threads on these is about 0.016, and the bit I used, sorry, 0.16, and the bit I used was 0.157. So the screws don't just slide down into the scale either. They actually have to be kind of threaded in. So you can see, even though they are, get that one going, line it up with your connector, and then the threads just kind of find their own center as you're going. So, and then I had to just slightly modify the screws by grinding them down a little bit so that they would both get the equal bite into the connector in the center. So that's the first one in. Second one, same thing. Just got to line it up. This isn't a finished project yet, but I kind of just wanted to show you guys. But you can see the screws kind of create their own threads in the micarta. This is OD green micarta and earth brown scales, and I went a little thicker than I normally do on the scales. They're actually I think 0.05. Normally I'm around 0.04 or 0.036 or something like that. But then you just give it a good squeeze. You could probably put some, medium Loctite on that, but yeah, this is just sort of a work in progress. But I was really happy with the way the scales turned out. You can see it's we have 11.5 inch overall, with about 6 1/4, 6 3/8 inch blade, and about a just under, or just right at about 5 inch handle. So it's got lots of room for in the handle. You see with my hands, if you choke right up, you still have room almost for another finger in there. So good weight, a little hefty, but it'll still lose a little bit of weight when I do the finished grind, because I'll still be taking some metal off. But the weight right now is 12 ounces exactly. So with the sheath, maybe call it 13 ounces. But yeah, I was really happy with the project. Like I said, almost a perfect go at my first shot, but the scale kind of got messed up. But I don't know, I think it's a really nice look. Obviously it still needs to be cleaned up and everything, but yeah, it feels really nice in the hand, really nice and thick. It's all contoured, but nice and thick. And like I said, these aren't done yet. I still gotta clean them up and make them look good. But yeah, that's the blade, guys. Also, I'll probably do a vid tomorrow on these, but I do have 3 the Woodsman available. They aren't sold to anybody. These are just ones that I did on my own, kind of not for orders or anything. You can see, and actually I was kind of right about that micarta. Scale's acting up. It actually does have kind of one off layer, and I actually just kind of got lucky in that when the 2 scales were put together, they both had the same kind of mistake in them. So it actually doesn't look awful with that layer there. But yeah, I got one with the forest liners, and I did a black sheath for it, and then I did this one has the OD green, so I did the OD green sheath. They all have grid retention. That's lined right now, so I'm trying to be careful. Maker's mark on the spine. Like I said, I'll do a video on these tomorrow, kind of posting them for sale. And then the last one, this one actually had kind of had that layer of the off color on the one side and not on the other, so I actually ended up taking both scales down quite a bit, so they were symmetrical. So this one's actually, I don't know if you can see, it's quite a bit thinner than the other 2. It's kind of just like the slim model, I guess. But this one had the coyote liner, so I did the coyote sheath for it. And again, you got the maker's mark on the spine. Really nice knives. They all kind of, just a sheet of magazine paper, they all took a really nice edge. So, but again, I'll show those tomorrow. Just kind of wanted to give you an update tonight on those. So, and lastly, for customer order, I did up the sheath today. He wanted the small tech lock as well, so you can see that mounted on there. The scales turned out really nice. I'm getting better with the layer G10, getting the pattern nice and symmetrical. But this is just the EDC Tanto, and again, you can see I got it nice and sharp. So there it is there. Anyway, guys, that's kind of the update for tonight. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll probably be doing removable scales on most of my blades from now on. I just like the convenience of it. And yeah, I just placed an order last night with all the stuff that you need for that. So been busy out here. These 3 will be available tomorrow. Be on my website as well. I will definitely be shipping this little guy tomorrow. And yeah, that's everything, guys. Thanks for watching.